Hello friends, welcome back. Today's video is one of the most requested videos on this channel. Many of you had asked me to share my pregnancy and delivery story, and I think it is worth to share my two different experiences from different countries. Adi was born in India and Anjali was born here in the US, and I hope it would be useful to some of you who are about to enter motherhood, as well as to those of you who are already done with their pregnancy and delivery like me. I hope you can relate to some of the experiences that I had, and do let me know in the comments down below. I would love to read them all. And yeah, let's get started. So back in India, when we were in Bangalore, that is when I was pregnant with Adi, and I was working back then, and I was consulting one of the well-known hospitals there. It is a chain, Columbia Asia Hospital. It's a very nice place, very nice doctors, very nice nurses, and it's a calm experience whenever you go for appointments. And back then, when in 2011, this is the story of 2011-2012. So I can say thankfully my pregnancy went smooth. I didn't have that sort of nausea and vomiting and all. So I can say thankfully it was well, it went well as I had so many colleagues and friends who used to make a lot of mouth-watering dishes for me during this whole phase of my pregnancy, and I really felt at home. So everything went smooth. I just remember one experience, one instance during the later part of my pregnancy when I was told that my fluid levels were a little low. So it was nothing worrisome for the doctor, and she didn't say anything about bed rest or anything like that. So she was less worried, but she just mentioned that the fluid levels are a little low, so it can get higher later on as well. But also, as suggested by many people, I had also started drinking tender coconut water. So in tender coconut water was very common in every nook and corner of Bangalore. So my husband used to buy it early in the morning and cut it and keep it back at home, and I used to come back home and drink it every single day. I don't know whether it actually helped me for increasing my fluid levels. I'm not sure about that, but it was definitely a very healthy drink, and there were no later concerns about fluid levels. So my pregnancy went along like that, and my mom had come in during the last month of pregnancy for taking care of me. So I was still working and until I got into my maternity leave. So during the later stages of pregnancy, your monthly appointments change into bi-weekly, like 2 times in a month, and then change into weekly appointments. So that was one fine day on May 29th. We went in for our regular checkup, and I was not due until the second week of June. Yeah, when we went there, the doctor checked me and she said that I need to get admitted. So I was surprised. We were surprised because even though I had the labor, delivery, whatever, the diaper bag packed in at home with all the necessary things, it was surprising for us because we never expected that such a thing would be told. So I was admitted. Before the admission process, we had a lot of things to write in, and yeah, finally I got admitted. And the labor room there, it's not a ward like where many people are there in one room. It's like we have a single room for every person, and during the active part of labor you will be transferred to another place where the doctor comes in and checks. But every single person, like there are 4 different rooms, and whoever are in that labor stage are given those rooms, and later on, when during the active part of labor, you are transferred to that particular one room. So there is only one person in one room, and anyone can stay with you in that particular room until the delivery happens. So my mom was there with me, and for some time my husband was there with me, so they took turns. And I was at last, yeah, they ask you to take out your gold ornaments and all of that. So everything was done, and I had my regular breakfast, lunch, dinner also. I'll come to that stage. I had all that food because there was nothing that I was feeling. They induced me in the afternoon, but I didn't feel any pain or anything. But the nurses and doctors, they continuously used to come in at regular intervals and check me. And yeah, so my last checkup was at around 8:30 when my doctor came in and she checked me, and she said that we will wait until tomorrow, because she didn't expect anything to happen right back then because there was no dilation or anything that indicated labor. So she said we'll wait until tomorrow, I'll come and check back tomorrow. And she left back to her house. And at around 10:30, around that time, my water broke, and I had started with my contractions. So according to me, back then it was the pain had started, and then in a series of events which I don't even want to explain, it is, nothing can be explained, you just have to experience and know it. So coming from that stage to a stage when I was transferred to that active part of labor, that particular room, and my doctor, actually they had called up my doctor back then and asked her to come back. She had actually left back to her house and she came back because she was in charge of my delivery. There was another doctor and there were nurses around, but might be they have a procedure to call her back in, and then she came, and at last at 11:47 p.m. on the same day, May 29th, Adi was born. So the second the baby comes out, you are a completely different person. Whatever you think about in your mind, whatever you tell out loud, you scream, or whatever you do until that point of time, the pain just goes away in one second when the baby is born, and you are a completely different person. That is the best feeling a mother can have, and so thankful for that. And so Adi was born on May 29th, 2012. And then they shifted me back to a room where it was shared, like two people were in one single room, and there was a division or a curtain sort of thing in between. So that is how the rooms were over there. And so he was born on May 29th, which was Tuesday midnight, and then I was discharged on Friday evening. So Tuesday midnight to Friday evening I was there in the hospital. So that is my first delivery story. So now if you ask me what is the learning experience from my first delivery story, how much ever you read on books or over the internet, how much ever you get information from different people, how much ever whatever it is, you cannot be that well prepared for your first delivery. It is an experience that you have to undergo and then come to know what it is. So no one can exactly tell you how a labor pain would look like or how it is. It starts differently for different people. Sometimes it starts with a back pain, sometimes it's over the sides. So it depends on the individual, as well as the pain is unbearable, as everyone says, and it is something that you have to experience. But how much ever you say it is painful, it is unbearable, you get the power at that particular time. As well as one of the things that I wanted to tell you is that during the course of appointments that I had prior to this delivery, I had one of the things like a paper wherein we had a choice for epidural. So I remember ticking it off, thinking that it is a painless delivery, as they say, taking an epidural. But at that point of time, that option never came in, as well as even I didn't ask for that. I don't know why I did not. It's like whatever they take you through, we are in that process, and I don't know. I myself don't know why didn't I ask during that point of time. But my doctor over there was a strong promoter of normal, natural delivery. She was a really good doctor, but she didn't promote that sort of medications and things like that. So I'm not sure how taking an epidural would be, because I'll tell you that in the second delivery situation as well. But I have never had an epidural and I don't know how it feels like. Some of them say that it is useful, some of them say that it has side effects for the back pain and all of that, and some of them say that it is easier because you don't know the pain, it is difficult to push the baby out. So I'm not sure how taking an epidural would feel like. I cannot comment on that. So yeah, this is my first labor and delivery experience. So after delivering my first baby, I also thought that I would never undergo this again. I told myself, but over the period of time, I don't know, you change a lot and you feel that you can undergo it again. I don't know how that thing takes place in everyone's head. after the first one you say that it's done, I'm done with it, and then you get the courage to go through it all over again. Now also regarding weight gain, I gained about 15 kilos when pregnant with Adi for my first pregnancy. Now yeah, let's get into the next one. So back here in the US, when I was pregnant with Anjali, so this is back in 2015. So Adi was around 3 years, and that's when I was pregnant with Anjali. And here the hospitals take you only after you are about 8 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks pregnant. Back in India, you can go in any time that you want to. Even after 1 month they take you. So here they take you only if you think you are about 8 to 10 weeks. And then the routine procedures are almost the same. You have your scan at 12 weeks and the regular anomaly scan at 20 weeks. So that is all the same. One more thing is that you get to know your gender of the baby at the 20-week scan. So if you would like to know your gender, you can let them know, or if you want to, if you don't want them to let you know, that is also possible. They don't let you know. So they have a lot of gender reveal parties and all of that. The doctors just write the gender in a piece of paper and give it to them, and later on they find out. So they do a lot of such things here. But we wanted to know the gender right away, and according to me, I feel the surprise is a surprise whenever it is. Even if the baby is born and you know, or whenever you know that particular moment is a surprise. And we were eagerly waiting for our scan to know the gender of the baby. So during our 20-week scan, we got to know the gender of our baby, and we found out it is a girl. And then later on everything went off as usual. And here also there was a choice of epidural, which as always I checked it, and yes, I wanted to try this epidural because everyone was telling it is really helpful, and I thought, yeah, this time I am going for it. Here the thing is that if you have a normal pregnancy, they check you at 40 weeks, that is your due, and then they wait until about 42 weeks, 41 or 42 weeks maximum, to see if you can deliver normally. So if everything is going normally, they ask you to wait even after week 40 to see if the baby will come out naturally. So I was a little scared because her due was in the first week of April, and during that point of time my mom came in by the mid of March, and the thing that we was a little scared about was the snow here, which is a little unpredictable, but during that point of time it tends to reduce. But yeah, because snow days are something really difficult. Here they don't get you admitted without any sort of reason. They ask you to call them when you feel that you are in labor. They ask you to call them, and they ask you to check at what interval are you getting your contraction. So you should know all of that. You have to wait in and know for yourself what is happening, and then you should be able to provide that information over the phone to them. So that is what we had an idea about, and they don't take in or admit you until you are at least 5 centimeter dilated. So I was a little worried about that because our hospital was about 25-30 minutes from our place, and hearing about this thing, which was very common here, got me a little worried. But my mom was like, whatever little pain you have, we'll go there and wait. We'll go near the hospital and wait, because she was a little worried. But here things are very casual, and it's not a very big deal. Again, on that particular day, which is March 29th, 2016, I had my normal appointment scheduled in that hospital. So starting with around 7:38 in the morning, I had a little bit of contractions, a slight pain coming and going. So I had my contraction timer and all that app downloaded in my phone, and I kept a check on myself, like how often am I getting the contractions. And it was like on and off. It was not regular. I just kept tapping in. Whenever I used to get the contraction, I used to tap in. Whenever it used to go off, I used to tap it off. So it used to last for like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, like that, the contraction. So here also during the last few weeks, they used to check us, and they said there was no dilation. And on that particular day, I had my regular checkup. So I didn't call them and say, because anyway I had to go there. So we waited until then, and we went there for the regular appointment, me and my husband, because someone had to take care of Adi and my mom was there to take care of him. So me and my husband, we went there, and then the doctor checked in and she said I was about 4 centimeter dilated. So if it is like 4 centimeter dilated, that means that she cannot get me admitted because I have to be at least 5 centimeter. And she also didn't know whether that 4 centimeter, that the dilation which I was at, did I have it on that particular day or did I have it over the last 1 week. In short, she didn't know whether I was in active labor. So she told me she doesn't want me to go back since I was like 30 minutes away. But she said like you can go and have some lunch and come back in and around the place and then I'll check you again. So we went to Wegmans and had our lunch. And I remember one of the ladies asking my husband, like, is she going to deliver here? Like, everyone could feel that. So I feel it was evident that I was in labor for a common person as well. And we went back to the doctor because she wanted to check me again. So by that time I was 6 centimeter dilated. So that means I could get admitted. And finally I was happy because I didn't have to go back home and then come again for this, right? So we went and we got admitted. There also we had a few forms to fill up, remember? And yeah, since I wanted epidural, it is supposed to be given by the anesthetist. And so they wanted to have some blood work done. So they took my blood and they wanted to check something before they give in my epidural. So they took my blood and all and they went off. So here in our hospital here, we had a group of doctors who were seeing me. So there were like 6 to 8 doctors in that group, and I used to visit one or the other person during my checkups, because we never know who would be the doctor who would be seeing us during the delivery time. So one such doctor was there. She was a really nice lady, and yeah, so I was waiting for my epidural. By that time, all of a sudden, my body decided to go into active stage of labor. I was so much in pain. So this time, my husband was there with me. I think in India also, they have a possibility of someone standing with you during your labor and delivery, but I don't know whether actually anyone does it. But here, yeah, it is so common that your spouse would definitely be there during your delivery. So he was there with me. I don't know how he got the courage to see it, but yeah, he was there with me by my side. And the doctors and nurses are like, they're very friendly. Everyone is in a very cool sort of mood here. So by the time I was in active labor, the anesthetist came in and they said like, we can take the epidural, and the doctor said no, you can go. Like, there is no need for epidural now. She's already suffered the pain and she's about to deliver. So at last, that means that I didn't have the chance to get my epidural even then. So at around 2 p.m. Anjali was born. So here, once after the delivery is done, you have the option for skin to skin contact with the baby, and where they lay the baby on top of you and they ask you whether you are okay for the skin to skin, and without even wiping the baby, they just keep the baby on you. And that is the best feeling. Like, it is such a bonding time for the baby as well as for you. It is the best feeling. And once you're ready, they take the baby and they clean the baby, give a bath and all of that, and they give it back to you when. And here one more thing is that they ask you to take a bath soon after the delivery is over, and they assist you when you need it, or if you need it, or else you are on your own to do it. Thankfully, there are a lot of people to help, and one of the best experiences that I think about in the hospital there is they had a little nursery there. So when you're done feeding, and they had a little trolley bed sort of thing where they push and take the baby to the nursery, and then they get back the baby when you are ready for the next feed. So that was really helpful when you needed that rest during night times. Even if you have a bystander, your mom or your husband with you, you know, they can also have their share of sleep. So that was really nice to get that sort of help from the hospital. So she was born on March 29th, which was also a Tuesday. Thursday morning, I was discharged. So it is really quick here. For normal delivery, you are there in the hospital for just day of delivery and the next day, that's it. And then they discharge you off. For cesareans, one more extra day, I think. So that's it for my labor and delivery stories and experiences. If you can relate to any of them, do let me know in the comments down below, or if you have anything to share about your labor and delivery, do write a comment below. So I am so thankful for both the experiences that I had. I'm so thankful for both the babies that I have, and I'm also thankful for you all who are there with me, listening to my stories and interacting with me. So I will see you all in my next video. Until then, take care and bye.